That was Corey Rezenke with Jesus Paid It All. Well, listen to what Isaiah had to say today in Isaiah 41:10. He says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." So there's two exhortations. He says, you do not have to be afraid. Why? Because the Lord is with you today. Isn't that great to know that you are not alone in this journey of life? He says, do not be afraid, for I am your God. So there's a simple exhortation. You got nothing to be afraid of. You'd have nothing to fear because two things. Number one, the Lord is with you. And the Lord is your God. God is sovereign. He's going to watch over every aspect of your life. And it is so wonderful to know that there is divine assistance and divine help. And all you have to do is exercise a little thing called self-control. That means, Lord, I know you got everything under control. Then he says this, I will strengthen you. And isn't that great to know that there is strength in the Lord? Paul, in fact, said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So when you feel weak, like the old song says, he becomes strong. And the whole factor in this is the love of God. He says, I will help you. Now, that literally means he's going to pick you up and place you in a solid place. I remember when my son Robert was walking one day and there was a puddle and all of a sudden he fell into it. You should have seen the shock on his face when all of a sudden there was mud on his face and in his hands, and he looked at me and I just very gently picked him up, cleaned off his face, cleaned off his hands, and his whole expression changed. And it's the same way with, we find ourselves in the mire and the muck, and sometimes it's because we fell, sometimes because someone pushed us. Either way, it's not a pleasant situation. But God picks us up, he dusts us off, he cleans us up, and he makes us changes the whole expression and the whole situation. He says, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Now, in the Old Testament, when God talks about his hand, what he's talking about is his power and his strength. And so God simply says, I'm going to pick you up, I'm going to dust you off, I'm going to clean you up, and I'm going to give you a new perspective. And you're going to be able to see things the way that I see them. But it's so important to recognize that the Lord is with you. Now, Jesus, as he was going up into the clouds on his ascension, he left them with one little exhortation. He says, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Isn't it great to know that you and I have the Lord with us, both now and forevermore? That's great. So remember, you have nothing to be afraid of because the Lord's with us. You don't have to be fearful because he is our God. He's going to strengthen us, he's going to help us, and he's going to lift us up with his righteous right hand. What a great scripture and a great thing to think about. Here on your radio station, AM 930 The Light, Edmonton's Positive Talk. Now it's Taya, and it's all about Jesus.